Hey, what's up everyone, my name is Thijs and welcome to DualWielded. In this devlog I make a lot of visual progress for my game Incaved, a game taking place in an ever-expanding Russian cave system where civilians took shelter after nukes were dropped during a fictional Cold War. So last episode I ended with a small bug. I added Cinemachine, which is a camera asset that allows you to do anything you want with the camera, except, start a cult together or murder someone. That's still illegal. But adding Cinemachine stopped the working of the camera zoom effect and screen shake. Our comrade Mythic Legion pointed out that I could try to add a parent to the camera and have Cinemachine take control of this parent instead of the camera directly. That's what I tried. It took me like 5 seconds and it worked and all of my problems were gone. And with that, Mythic Legion had officially deserved 2 golden stars. And the next thing I made was a first for Incaved. And that's concept art. These are 3 possible levels, floors, worlds, whatever you want to call them. There's a part of the cave with stalagmites and there's a... Oh Jesus! No! The trigger alarm! Who got triggered? Was it you? Huh? Listen, I know the standing guys are called stalagmites and the hanging boys are called stalactites, okay? I know that, okay? So our comrade can explore these cave parts with his broken lantern, I guess. But for these cave systems to feel more realistic, I'm going to add different backgrounds and font elements with a parallax effect. A parallax effect means that the further away things are from the camera, the slower they move. Especially for 2D games, in my opinion, this makes a game look super crisp. So I started working on some of these rock things, which I don't fully recall the names of, but when I tested how they'd look in game, I found out that 1, they are huge, and 2, all of them together in a specific way, like I have it right now. I can't easily customize this. But doing it this way will be very easy to cause this effect where the rock just stops existing in the middle of the screen. So, at least it has that. So I separated the individual rocks and made some smaller ones, and I have to admit, with the parallax effect added to this, it starts to look pretty cool. At this point you probably already figured out that I'm working on the cave part that's in the middle. I kept some of the huge stalagmites and used them in the background, but also made a few render in front of the player and the interactable elements of the game. Starting to look pretty 3D, not gonna lie. I'll add other background layers later, since I think 1 is not really enough. But I wanted to take a break from constantly drawing the same stalagmites and finish the inventory icons. So last devlog I presented you with these icons to indicate the functions of the inventory item slots. I wasn't too happy with them, so I asked for feedback. Some of you thought it looked perfectly fine like this, Garrett suggested making them a bit more transparent, and Daniel suggested using words instead of icons. Out of those suggestions came 4 different versions of the inventory. I asked on Discord which one of these you preferred, but oh my god, you do this all the time! Last thing on I posted up, are you doing this on purpose? Alright, let it rest for a bit, we'll come back to that later, okay? In the meantime, I'll add 2 more background layers and I honestly think it looks pretty good. I think I'll add another layer later, but for now I've seen enough stalagmites. They take a pretty long time to make and it's not a lot of fun to make, since there's not a lot of designing going on, it's just drawing them. Yes. But let's check the state of the inventory poll I got. Oh my god! Okay, I'll just go for my personal preference, which is the words. I think it works a bit better. I've never really been a fan of the original design in the first place, and since only the weapon slots will show their purpose, since consumable and passive items are more straightforward and don't need a direct explanation in my opinion, it also looks a bit better that just these 2 have a small title and the others don't, instead of these 2 having images and the others not having that. I also started adding some decorations, some things that will make the cave more interesting and fun to explore with. Decorations like rotting bodies. These are rotting bodies that have been here for a while, judging by their pale skin and dark dried blood. Also each dead body type, if that's what you want to call it, has 4 different death causes. The sitting dude could have died from bleeding out because his leg got amputated. Maybe a mole rat chewed it off, maybe cannibalism happened. I have no idea, but you can figure it out yourself. Being shot in the head, mutation, or like a cut in his stomach or something. The other dude could have died from pretty much the same reasons, honestly. Also there's a grave, or it's more like a symbolic ornament for someone's death, and a pile of rocks. Not gonna lie, this is by far the best decoration I've made so far. Now I needed to finally get the screen shake working. Last time I showed you the screen shake, it was more of an earthquake, but with the settings changed to a more realistic screen shake, you'll see that the camera slowly moves away from the player. I was told that Cinemachine has its own screen shake option, but that messed up the parallax background. So I fixed it with a tutorial Andrew sent me. So shout out to Andrew, here you go Andrew, 3 stars, you'll be awarded with 3 stars, 3 stars. Oh, what? What's this about? Oh! So screen shake happens when you hit an enemy, when you get hit, and when you hit the ground with your hammer. That's when Fab said, wait, why is the hammer a medieval warhammer, by the way? What the fuck is that? And I honestly hadn't thought about it at all. I never had the intentions to make it a medieval warhammer, but I clearly did, and I was just fine with it for some reason. So I changed the hammer into an actual sledgehammer, but keeping the total size and proportions the same, so that it wouldn't mess with anything. After that I worked on a tile set for the hub part of the game. A hub part? Huh? Yeah, it's time to talk a bit about game design, since this part is something I've been puzzling with lately. You see, I presented this game as a roguelike before, but actually it's really a roguelite. I learned most of what I'm about to say from Game Maker's Toolkit, so shout out to Mark Brown, you get 2 stars from me, my guy. 2 stars. Check out this video in the description for a more in-depth explanation about the differences between roguelikes and roguelites, but I'm going to explain the most important aspect for Incaved. Roguelike is a genre of games where the world is randomly generated, and when you die, you lose all of your progress and have to retry in a new randomly generated world. With every attempt at beating the game, you'll become a bit better at the game and more familiar with the items and enemies. The difficulty curve of a roguelike game generally is a horizontal flat line. Since the game itself is just as difficult to beat in the first attempt than it will be in your 50th attempt. The only differences between those attempts is that you've gained experience, meaning your skill level improved, and at some point after enough attempts and enough training, your skill level will be high enough to beat the game. Now what makes a roguelite different from a roguelike? Well, the only difference is that roguelites allow the player to permanently unlock content in between matches. For instance, in The Binding of Isaac you can permanently unlock different characters with their own set of skills and stats, and you can also unlock new items that can randomly spawn in the dungeon, making The Binding of Isaac a roguelite. Other roguelikes could allow you to permanently upgrade your health, attack power, etc. But the only problem with the latter is that the difficulty curve of the game ends up looking very odd. It decreases. Since the dungeon's general difficulty and its enemies will always remain the same, yet the player's character itself becomes stronger. It gains more attack power, it gains more health, and thereby making the game itself easier over time. Now this meant that I was in a pickle. I want the game to be a roguelite, since that gives failed attempts at beating the game meaning. Like, oh no, I couldn't get past level 4 this time, but at least I found 12 coins along the way that I can keep after my death, so that I can now buy something with them in the hub or something. Otherwise you just die and that's it. It could feel like you just wasted 20 minutes of your time without really doing anything. So the question I had to ask myself is, how do I make failed attempts feel more valuable to the player, but at the same time avoid this very weird difficulty curve? Well, I've thought of a list of ways to accomplish this, but I'll explain those in the future devlogs when I start implementing them. For now, all you have to know is that the most important permanent change you'll get to make is that you'll be able to find strangers in the cave systems that you can invite over to the hub area, like in Dark Souls, where you can, for instance, release this thief from his cage and invite him to the main hub, where you can now buy items from him. Or you can save mages that can teach you spells if you brought them to the hub. These NPCs will all have their own traits to help you, but there can only be a maximum number of NPCs in the hub and yada yada yada. I'll explain more in future devlogs, but I truly think I found a good way to tackle the roguelite problem. Just you wait, okay? And last but not least, in July I hosted this event where Discord members got a chance to have their own artwork in the game. I made this painting frame for you to fill with whatever you want, and these are the winners. They already knew this, so it's not like a cool reveal moment. In the future I'll host similar events in my Discord, so make sure to join if you're interested. That's it for this video. Please leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're interested in the future of this game. Thanks for watching and I'll see you later. No. No. What? No. You what the fuck? What? You can't do me like that, dude. Andrew, no, sorry. Andrew, I didn't mean it this way. Okay, please. Please, man, come on. No, don't need. No. Oh. Come on, man. Please, man. And drop. Man. Help it.